Welcome back, hosers. A while ago, I was wandering through a discount store and I was looking at food labels because you kind of have to, because a lot of it's expired. And I noticed on this drink I was curious about, it said something about prebiotics. And this was the first time in my life that I heard about prebiotics. So if you've known about prebiotics for a while, pause the video and take a moment to be snug. Since you've paused it, take as long as you want. We're not going to wait for you. But anyway, I looked at it and I was like, what is a prebiotic? And I'm wearing my curmudgeon shirt today because I get a little curmudgeonly when I encounter new diet fads, because a lot of them just seem like trouble and people lying to make money. And so I immediately was skeptical about prebiotics. But then I went and did some research, and it turns out I'm on board with prebiotics. And not only am I on board, but everything in the garden contains excellent prebiotics. And if you eat anything in your garden, you're going to benefit from it. So a prebiotic is energy-containing molecule of some kind that will pass through our digestive system without being digested and absorbed. But when it gets to our colon, our large intestine, where the bacteria live, it's available to the bacteria and they can break it down and get energy out of it. And I know we live in a society where we're like, ew, bacteria. Bacteria are gross and always bad for you, but actually the ones in your gut are really important, because your gut bacteria can do things like helping you stay healthy and energetic, and clearly I need some more. But you know, it's a big deal. These are good bacteria in your gut, and prebiotics are a way to take care of them. And this video, we're talking about 5 annual plants that are especially good sources of prebiotics, and then 5 perennial plants that are especially good sources of prebiotics. So let's get into it. Now, one crop that hopefully you are growing at home, because it's so rewarding and so easy, is garlic. Garlic is a great source of prebiotics. It contains inulin, and it also is a really good source of fructooligosaccharides, which is a really scary sounding prebiotic. And actually it is used as a sweetener alternative in some foods. But anyway, grow garlic. Usually you plant garlic in the fall and then harvest it the following summer. So you should be thinking about garlic right now, because right now it's August, and I think next month is when it's time to plant your garlic. So if you want good prebiotics from your garden, plant garlic, plant it next month. Another really good garden crop for prebiotics is onions. And in fact, all of the alliums are going to be really great sources of prebiotics, but onions and garlic especially, and shallots. So onions you'll typically plant in the spring. It's too late to grow onions this year. On the bright side, they are really easy to grow. I was shocked. In fact, I have an easier time growing onions from seed. If you like to start from sets, that's fine. But I prefer starting them from seed, and I'll go out like a month before the last frost, or as soon as the soil is workable, really. And I'll set up my rows of onion seeds and I'll just have them there ready to go. They're really easy to grow. Again, these are great sources of inulin and fructooligosaccharides. The next one to draw your attention to is carrots. This is probably a really good time to plant some fall carrots, or maybe a couple weeks ago, for harvest in the fall. In fact, harvesting carrots in the fall are going to give you sweeter carrots. So think about it. I'm not set up for it, unfortunately. Carrots are a really good source of pectin, apparently. I didn't know you could get pectin from carrots, and I didn't know that pectin is a prebiotic, but both of those are true. Carrots are also another really great source of fructooligosaccharides. So those are the chemical that makes it taste a little bit sweet. Grow carrots. Not as easy to grow. I know carrots are a really popular crop, but if you struggle with carrots, I want to just reassure you that you're not alone and it's okay. you're not a weirdo freak for struggling with carrots. Now the fourth one I want to talk about is cabbage, and not just cabbage, but the whole cabbage family. So Brussels sprouts and kohlrabi and kale and all of the cabbages are going to be high in glucosinolates, which is another scary sounding prebiotic that I just learned about today, and also dietary fiber. Now, dietary fiber isn't necessarily going to be a prebiotic because some dietary fiber isn't even digestible by our gut bacteria unless you are secretly a termite or a cow. Dietary fiber is also good. And then those glucosinolates from the whole cabbage family are amazing. So if you ever notice that you get a lot, like pretty serious gas after eating a bunch of cabbage or members of the cabbage family, that's your gut bacteria saying thank you in their gassy way. The fifth and final annual crop that's particularly high in prebiotics would be beans, specifically kidney beans and soybeans. They are high, like up to 1 to 5% of their total mass, high in resistant starches. So resistant starches are starches that you struggle to digest, so they mostly make it through to your digestive system, and then they provide a feast to your gut bacteria. And we all know that beans are a musical fruit, and that musicality of the bean fruit is their prebiotic activity. So those are our 5 annual crops that are particularly high in prebiotics. And I just want to stress one more time, just in case you're not sure, everything you grow and eat from your garden is providing you some prebiotic activity. You should not eschew a crop just because it didn't make my top 5 list. Now the first perennial crop that I want to talk about is just immediately came to mind was sunchokes, or also you can hear them called fartichokes, because if you eat them, they will give you gas. It's just how they do. And the reason they give you gas, again, is because they are high in prebiotics, specifically inulin, which is a type of sugar that plants can use to store in excess energy, but we don't break down very efficiently. But our gut bacteria love it. Sunchokes are a member of the sunflower family. And what we eat is the little rooty, cormy thing down under the soil. You'd probably want to plant those in the spring. Might be a little too late. Typically, you're going to want to wait to about 2 or 3 weeks before the last frost to get your sunchoke corms in the ground. They will grow tall, like 10 to 12 feet tall, and they will be topped with beautiful sunflowers. The part you eat is the corm that you dig up. You won't find them all. Once you plant it, you will have it forever, and they will try to spread. So just be advised. Another really great prebiotic source is asparagus. Not only does it make your pee smell bad, which is cool by itself, but it feeds your gut bacteria. Asparagus is another one that's high in inulin, but also you're getting fructooligosaccharides from it. You are going to be planting starts or crowns in the spring. I've decided that it's not worth wasting my time on the crowns because you got to dig so much more, and you only have to wait an extra year or 2 for the starts. The third perennial crop that probably not as many of you have in your gardens, but I'm going to try to have some in mine, is apples. And apples, the prebiotics you get from them are pectin, specifically from the apple peel, eat the peel, and then they are also high in polyphenols. Now, apples are of course going to grow on a tree, so you want to make sure you have room for a tree, but you can get dwarf rootstock grafts on your trees now, so it's not a big investment in space anymore. In fact, I would rather grow apples on a dwarfed tree because I can reach them all to help treat for pests. An apple a day keeps your gut bacteria healthy, wealthy, and wise. Yeah, berries. All the berries are great sources of inulin, fructooligosaccharides, and sometimes pectin. So if you're growing strawberries or raspberries or blackberries or loganberries or goji berries or currants or any of that, feel confident that you are getting lots of great prebiotics in your diet. And if you're not growing any berries, why not? It's really awesome. You plant them once, you harvest them year after year. I love having some perennials in my garden, and berries are one of my favorite perennials because not only are they healthy, but they taste like dessert. Wow, you can't go wrong with that. I had problems with sound. I lost sound partway through my video, and now some really crazy weather is coming. The last thing on the list, the final perennial, is one that I know you have in your garden, and you probably didn't plant it. And that is dandelion greens. Dandelions are an excellent natural source of inulin. I would recommend eating the leaves while they are young and tender, because when dandelion leaves get bigger and more developed, they get really bitter. So make sure, if you are going to eat dandelions, and I'm not, you're eating the young tender greens. They are something you can plant on purpose if you really want to. You can start them from seed indoors 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost if you really want to get those early dandelion greens. Or if you like the rest of us, they're just going to show up. I hope this list of annuals and perennials that are high in prebiotics has blown you away. And I hope this weather does not blow my greenhouse away. Thank you for joining me in my garden, and I hope you have a wonderful time in your own.